Shalom, shalom, I was the brother Kadash. I'm going to start off by giving all praises to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakak, Wadash. And I'm going to name this. Let's jump straight into it. I'm going to name this Looking to Be Offended, right? And this is a problem that I've seen, so I want to speak up about it. A problem I've been seeing amongst us Israelites. And this is for us that's in the truth, that claim to be woke and all that type of stuff and claim to be in the truth, right? There's a lot of strife, there's a lot of envy that's going around. What actually made me start to think about this was earlier when I was thinking about shit, I don't even think I have no internet right now. Earlier, what I was thinking about is how the other nations, especially when you think about the small heads, how they're able to come together, right? But even more than that, even when they're in different places, different industries, whether it be music, whether it be Hollywood, whether it be news, or whether it be banking, and let's just say there's like an individual, right? You have an individual, but for some reason, and I almost kind of admire it, even when they're out there as individuals, they know that whatever they're doing, whatever business they're doing, they know that they have to do that with in mind that everything has to be what's best for the greater good or what's best for their people, you know? So it don't matter if, look at what's going on with Ye, right? It don't matter if you're a multi-millionaire. It don't matter to them. It don't matter if you're a billionaire. It don't matter if you're dealing with them and you have some type of business deal with them that has something to do with money. They'll leave their deals. They'll go in debt in order to keep the best interest of their people at hand. And I was like thinking about that. I was like, man, damn, what if the so-called African Americans, Latinos, Native Americans, which are the true Israelites, what if we thought that way? It's almost as if their minds are connected. It's like ants, or like a beehive. How beehive, their minds are like all connected and they all work together for the greater good of the whole population, their whole nation, which makes sense because then they have more power. You're gonna get power, man, but we have this individual stuff that's going on where everybody's competing with each other and against each other rather than being one unit. Once we become one unit, then we have power because we have power over resources and things. And that's how it's gonna be in the kingdom. Because I was thinking about myself. I was thinking this to myself, and I was saying, like, in the kingdom, is one brother gonna be worth 1 billion? Let's just say whatever the currency is, right? And then one brother's worth 1 million. And then I thought about it. I was like, no, you're gonna have the nation of Israel is worth this, and anything that any man need, they're gonna have. It's not gonna be like how your rappers are today. This rapper's a millionaire. This rapper worth 10. This rapper's worth 100. It's just, look, this is the wealth of the nation of Israel, right? And isn't that how they do, like in Saudi Arabia? And I've seen they could break down like they individuals. This prince is worth this much, but really they say what the royal family is worth however much. That's what they say, and that's how we have to start thinking. And just because you woke up in the truth and you learned some precepts, right? Which we do, that don't mean that a lot of men that knows the precepts, that know how to work their way through the Bible, that doesn't mean that they're men, and I ran into that firsthand myself. you know what? That don't even make sense. Yeah, okay, yeah. I'm just looking on my internet. My internet won't work for some reason on my computer, so I'm gonna have to use my Bible. But I ran into that myself, right? And I seen, like, okay, these men may know the Bible, they may know how to put precept upon precept, they may know some breakdowns, but it don't mean that they're men. So there's things outside the Bible which I had to learn. And think the things outside the Bible are the spiritual things. It's not just all about the precepts, because I know guys that could just go to a precept and spin it and paint a picture and say, look, this is you and this is what you're doing wrong. But there's things outside of it which is spiritual things, right? And that's what's going to bring me into my title is, look, don't look to be offended. And this is the problem, especially with African Americans. We look to be offended, where you could turn your head or you could not let things bother you, but we go searching, like, pretty much, what's the phrase, like, Damn, I forgot it, but it's like pretty much on the terms of, you ain't letting up, or you ain't giving out no passes, and when you don't give out no passes, right, you're looking to be offended, you're looking for the beef, right, you're looking for the smoke to see if there's fire there. You actively searching and like, man, what it is, somebody says something about me, who's the toughest in the room, who's the smartest, who's over who, and that gives a lot of envy and a lot of strife, a lot of covetousness is going on, right, when we supposed to be like the brothers in this picture, which we're going to get to that precept, but I want to start here. This is James chapter 3, right, verse 16. It says, for where envying and strife is, there is confusion in every evil work. So you may claim that you know the Bible and you could put precepts together. You may even be trying to keep the law, statutes, commandments. But if you're doing things with envy, and even if you're doing things with strife, you may not know that you're doing this way, but you still could be guilty of it. But there's confusion in every evil work. You could still be doing evil works. And that brings me to my next topic. There's different type of works. All the works that you're doing in this truth ain't all good works. You got to watch out. You got to try to remain blameless, because you could be doing evil works. You could be doing bad works. So when you get to Revelations 20, which we're about to break down this weekend, when you get to Revelations 20, it says that the books was open and they was judged by their works. You're going to be judged by your good works and your evil works, your sins, because no man is perfect, right? And speaking about Revelations, then we done broke down, we're getting to Revelations 20, and we done broke down Revelations 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. And we ain't go to no seminary. We ain't go to no college. We ain't go to no university. We just young men, born and raised in a small town, Springfield, Illinois, and look how we're able to get in the Bible and break down Revelations, which has always historically been one of the hardest books to break down. How is that possible? Through the faith, through the Spirit of God, which goes back to what I said, the Spirit. That's outside, but we're able to use that Spirit and understand these precepts, right? So if you look at that and you look at all those are works, and you look at those works that we did, and you just say, oh yeah, they're bugged out, the Lord ain't with them, or they just nothing, then you have to examine yourself. You have hate in your heart, and that's envy. A lot of men have envy in their heart. That's why James chapter 3 is perfect. A lot of men have that envy in their heart because whatever reason it may be, but they have that envy in their hearts for young brothers going out there, right? Which we're able to do, go out there and teach the truth and not let no man hold us back or put no ceiling under disguise of order, but just putting a ceiling over us for whatever reasons they feel like. Nah, man, sometime man could be in your way. Sometime a man could be in your way to the point where you like, look, you got to get out my way, bro. I understand what your mind is thinking and how you think things supposed to be, but as for me, you're in my way. I could do this. I could fly, but a lot of men don't see that, and then it starts envy and confusion, and strife, doing things out of strife. You see that a lot. Verse 17 says, but the wisdom that is from above is first pure. Right, so we breaking down the scriptures. Now, somebody might say, y'all not breaking it down perfect, or I could break it down better or whatever, but that's just competing, that's competition, that's just more envy and strife, right? But if you say that the work that we're doing is not from the Lord, then yeah, it's pure hatred, right? Because it's coming from somewhere. And really, if you want to get down to the bottom of it, everything is by the way of the Lord. Every single thing. So everything we're doing, the Lord has us doing it, So we give all praises, which you know the word all mean. We give all praises to Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai, right? But brothers don't care about that, They undermine your works and act like it don't mean shit. Because they looking for a reason to be offended. They looking for a reason to have strife against you. They looking for a reason to be mad at you still. They undermine. They never exhort you, which is a commandment that we supposed to exhort each other, right? a law or a statute, right? That we supposed to exhort each other, but they never do that because they want to hate you for a reason. They want to be against you. They want to be mad because they really envy you, but they not gonna say it. They just gonna say you're wicked and they righteous. Of course, everybody says that, right? But nobody really knows that because nobody knows who the elect is. That's a fact. But verse 17, but the wisdom that is from above is first pure, then peaceable, gentle, and easy to be entreated, full of mercy and good fruits, without partiality and without hypocrisy. You see a lot of hypocrisy going on. So this is the nature that you're supposed to be when you're giving out the truth. You want to be peaceful, right? You want to be gentle because you got to have that wisdom and that understanding of how to handle situations. And you have to be easy to be entreated, full of mercy. Where's the mercy? Brothers don't have mercy for each other. It says you're supposed to be full of mercy. You see some of these brothers that say they in the truth, right? You see them all on the highways and byways teaching, and they don't have no mercy. They don't have no mercy for other brothers that's in the truth. I did a rebuke video on a brother because he was talking about there wasn't going to be sex in the kingdom, and he was saying that all the Old Testament precepts I was bringing out, he was saying they already happened. But within that video, when I wasn't cussing him out. I was rebuking him in a peaceful way. I was just teaching. Really, you could call it a rebuke, but really I was just teaching him. I was just showing him, look, boom, boom, boom. And then even within that video, you can still see it on my channel. I was showing a lot of mercy to him. I was showing him like, maybe you don't know this, brother, or get with me and I could teach you, I could show you. I was going out my way to break down the precepts and put them together just to prove to, I ain't got nothing to prove to nobody but Yahweh Bahashem Yahawashi. But I was going out my way to prove it to him because he's my brother. I was showing him mercy and I was showing him love, and I even said, like, look, we're not enemies. We're brothers. Let them know right off the bat, I'm not trying to fight against you. I'm trying to help you. You're my brother, and I look at you as my brother. See, that could solve a lot of things. When tempers are flaring up, you just say, hey, look, we're brothers. Hey, I love you, bro. Yeah, even if you going off and you doing something wrong, I see that you going off and you doing something wrong. I hope you repent, bro. But I love you, my brother. But I just hope that the Lord has mercy on you when he judge you if you ain't going to repent. That takes growing, and it took me time to grow there. That takes a man to look at things that way. Verse 18. But a lot of guys, they get mad at you, and then it turns to envy, right? And then for the rest of their life, they pretty much just looking at it, and they justifying their actions, and they pretty much just say, hey, the Lord gonna get them one day. And then they just fall into a retreat, like almost as if they're long suffering. And they just say, yeah, the Lord ain't judging them yet. The Lord still blessing them. He's still keeping them in the truth. He's still teaching them more. He's still giving him more of the truth. He's still putting a hedge up above them. But then they just act like, well, I'm just long suffering. The Lord gonna get them one day. I'm just long suffering. He gonna get them one day just because you're mad. Well, hey, you're not the Lord, and you don't think the way that the Lord thinks. Just because you get mad at a brother don't mean the Lord is against him, just because you are. And if you praying on a brother downfall, that's a sin. That's a sin already, right? That's very sinful, and it's wicked if you're praying on, especially on your own people, on your own brother downfall. That's envy. That's hatred. That's hating your brother, which is a sin, right? Verse 18, I want to read it again. It says, and the fruit of righteousness is sown in the place of them that make peace. So the fruit of righteousness, you have to try to make peace, man. You got to try to make peace. I know brothers that's finna keep the Passover that's about to come up in 4 months or 4 or 5 months, right? And they personally got a problem with me. They know that I got a problem with them. They know that they got a problem with me or whatever, and we can make it right. And I would make it right, but I can't make it right. Sometimes you just can't make things right. Sometimes a brother won't allow you to do that, but they know that they got a problem with me, right? Or they know that I got something against them for them offending me, right, in a way. and they not gonna make it right. They not gonna reach out to apologize or nothing because they think they don't have to, you know. And then they gonna keep the Passover, which there's a law against that. You gotta go reconcile with your brother. But then they make the excuse to just say, well, he not my brother because only people in this group is my brother, so I ain't gotta really reconcile with him, you know. I mean, you can make up, people make up shit all day. Look at the Catholic Church, you know, they make up shit all day, you know. And you could twist, and I must admit, you could go in the Bible and you could twist it and make it look like whatever you want it to make it look like. People do it all day, every day, but there is a truth in the Bible, right? And this is what we're giving you, you know. And that's why we're reading the precepts. You know, anybody could come in here and say, here, I'm finna read this precept. Let me see if I can find it. Let me see. What is this? Proverbs 16, and then I want to jump back. And I want to go to verse 28, right? Verse 26, because it's, nah, man, this is deep. This is real deep. Verse 23, it says, the heart of the wise teaches his mouth and addeth learning to his lips. You gotta, and that really goes into, you gotta know what to say, man. You gotta have wisdom and knowledge, man. Don't just be out here hating on a brother. Hey, I hope this happened to him, or I hope that happened to him, or this is gonna happen to him, praying on his downfall, or just looking to be offended by a person, right? Verse 24, pleasant words are as a honeycomb, sweet of the soul, and health to the bones, right? So where's the pleasant words at? You know, you got to have pleasant words, you know. Comes with the exhortation. It says, there is a way that seemeth right unto a man. You may think that you're on the right path because you are part of these people and they saying this and they saying that. And then you got 2 or 3 people that's coming to support you really only because they affiliated with you in some type of way. That's why they're really supporting you, right? It says, but the end thereof are the ways of death. So you may think that you're right praying on a brother's downfall, praying that Yahweh Shai does something to a brother, or insinuating that Yahweh Shai is going to do something to a brother just because you're mad at them for some reason, right? Or you may feel that you're right by coming out and saying, hey, I had a situation where, you know, they put out names and shit, and this brother could be an agent, and you may feel like you right saying, hey, look, I was looking at this, and because of this event and because of that event, hey, this brother is giving agent vibes. This brother might be an agent. But see, the problem with that is if I'm not an agent, then now that shit falls on your own head. So that's why you really just remain blameless. I ain't calling nobody no motherfucking agent or nothing unless I got 100% proof that that's what it is. You know, it's been, you know, brung out to the light pretty much. But if I'm just insinuating and assuming something, then I ain't gonna put no name on no brother like that, to accuse no brother like that, because the Lord works in like they say a funny way. That's what they say. So the Lord could end up making you get took out by agents since you so much putting it on a brother. See, and that's why it says right here, there is a way that seemeth right unto a man, so it seemeth right unto you to say this and slander, and really you just looking for reasons to be offended, right? But the end thereof are the ways of death. And it could lead you to death, man. Because I had a thing where I put a name up on my YouTube. Now, this is why I say looking to be offended. Now, you could be offended by that because you could say, look, we go by that name. But you really can't say shit about it because if it's not a sin, which is not a sin to put up a name. And I explained that, and that's why I said, look, man, there's other people that have this name on YouTube. There's hella Edomite churches that have this same name. As a matter of fact, the school that I went to in middle school was named after this, so I could claim these initials all the fuck I want because I went to a school where we used to claim these initials years and years and years ago in middle school. Over 10 years ago in middle school. Shit, damn near over 20 years ago, or like 15 years ago in middle school. I was already running around claiming that because I went to this middle school that had that name, right? Because the middle school I went to was a GMS, which was Grant Middle School. You see what I'm saying? So I was like, so technically I could do this all I want, but You guys are making up rules and rules that don't go with the law, statutes, and commandments. And then you're condemning brothers by saying this brother is this or he's that because you're mad because of a man-made rule that I don't have to abide by and that you can't be mad at me about or you can't condemn me about because it's not a sin to do that, you know? And it's just crazy. But guess what? You know, those things, but it says, but the end thereof are the ways of death, you know? And that's what why I'm hoping, praying that this lesson be edifying, you know? It says, he that laboreth for himself, for his mouth caveth it of him. You could be, just because you out there teaching, and teaching, you think that you laboring for the Lord. You could be teaching for 20 years, think that you're laboring for the Lord, but really the whole time you just laboring for yourself, man. That's why you got to watch what you do. It says an ungodly man diggeth up evil. So that's like digging up some shit in the past that's already been taken care of that you can move past, right? Because it says in the book of Job, and I'm forgetting the chapter, but I think it's chapter 11. It says, when you sin no more, roughly paraphrasing, and it be like water, like passeth away. That's how you look at it. It's gone. It's done. You repented from it. It's done. It's over with. We out the bam. There's something in the past, but you will have brothers that's digging up things. What's digging up something? That's something that happened a year, 2, 3 years ago. You just digging it up just to put it out there in the forefront and say, look. He can't never grow from this point until I'm satisfied with this point. You see what I'm saying? That's digging it up evil. It says in his lips there is a burning fire. And what would always come after that? They dig up that evil. Just burning fire coming out their lips. They have nothing good to say about you. It's just nothing bad because they're mad. It says a forward man soweth strife, and a whisperer separates chief friends. I had a friend or a guy I thought I was a friend, but that was separate because the whole cold shit, I guess, right? A violent man enticeth his neighbor and leadeth him into the way that is not good. And I just seen that brothers get mad and then they want to fight each other, but they don't want to. They know they group got rules on them, so they want to come out and entice you to do something. Hey man, if you see me out and we meet each other, if you want to do something, go ahead. You can go ahead and do something. That's enticing. You see what I'm saying? It's bullshit. It's enticing, right? Verse 30. And I must say this, you know, because we seen an elder and he had a big swole guy that ran up on him, right? Now, of course, all his label mates, right, are going to, you know, go and, you know, hold him down and support him and stuff like that. But then I seen elders above him that was kind of like, nah, you could have did this better. So I'm looking at all these other guys like, look, y'all don't even know what you're talking about, because the elders y'all looking at kind of telling him he could have did this better, because what was he doing? He kind of started enticing the guy. And the whole reason why that guy confronted him on the highways and byways like that is because of his way of teaching on the internet, which could spill. That's why I keep telling you, I made a video and I put out a very video, and y'all have to go check it out because it was very edifying. And the name of that video on my channel was called Don't Die Over the Internet. You think that you safe and you talk however the fuck you want to talk on the internet, but that spills out into the real world. This is real that we're in. This truth, this fight that we're in, this is not just internet shit. There are Hebrew internet warriors. That's a real thing. But that's not what we are. We really are on the highways and byways. We really live this. So however you teaching on the internet, you got to remember you are enticing people. People that you don't even know that's listening. You're enticing them. You know, so when I'm teaching in the way of, yeah, pretty much just teaching. That's my whole thing. Let me teach you. I'm putting precepts. I'm showing you how it goes together. I'm filtering world events, you know, being a watchman, filtering those world events. Revelations, I believe 19, we just read it, talks about Yahushua in the spirit of prophecy. So I'm constantly prophesying this is what's going to happen. This is what the Bible says is going to happen. This is what the word is going to happen. That's my biggest thing, is prophesying, right? A lot of you guys are on here enticing people. You talk a lot of shit like you the toughest guy, right? And you sunning people. And first, when I seen that video, first thing that came to my mind was, first thing came to my mind is I hope everything good. That shit, we don't need to be doing that, you know, let's just teach the truth. Second thing that came to my mind is they bringing that on themselves. You know, when I see things happen to different camps and stuff like that, and I know that they are a certain way, I say, look, man, look, they bring that on themselves, because they don't have to do all this. They don't have to do all that. You don't, I can't say shit about a camp going to march around a Staples Center, because it's not a sin for them to get together and march around a Staples Center. So my opinion about it, I keep it to my damn self. But if something was to happen in the future because of that, I say, look, hey, they brung down themselves because of the decisions they made. But I'm not gonna condemn them for those decisions unless it's a sin. If it ain't a sin, then I keep my opinion to myself. And that's looking to be offended, you know. And I see a lot of elders talking about other groups and talking about them going to go march around the Staples Center, and the first thing that comes to my mind is, oh, you're looking to be offended in some type of way. Why are you giving your opinion, and you're taking your holy platform, it's supposed to be holy, and you're going to teach, and you know you got all these men that look up to you, and you're going to talk shit about people that you know personally, and then all these other guys that's under you going to go talk shit about a person that they don't know. They are not you. You know this person personally. Y'all have y'all little shit that y'all go back and forth. They don't know them, but they still talking shit about them. That's the problem. You as a leader supposed to check them and say, hey, look, I talk like this because we grew up together. We know each other. We have history, right? You guys don't know him personally. It's a certain way that this is supposed to be handled. You see what I'm saying? But that doesn't happen, you know, because everybody wants that crowd throwing rocks right behind them, going with them, you know, because that's where you get power at, right, in the numbers. So everybody wants that power. Verse 30. But everybody's going to lose that power when the grid goes down. When the internet goes down, you have no communications to this camp in that city and this camp in that city. You lose the power of numbers. So it shows you that none of that shit matters, and it's not going to get you salvation. The only thing that's going to get you salvation is if Yahweh Shai saves you, you know, if you're chosen, elected, you know. So that's going to be the only thing you're going to be able to lean on. Verse 30 says, he shutteth his eyes to devise forward things, moving his lips, he bringeth evil to pass. So sometimes you just got to close your fucking mouth, right? Because you may have an opinion on something, but your opinion can stay to your goddamn self, and you don't have to go speak your opinion to thousands of people on the internet. If these people is doing something, but they're not sinning, but it's something that you just don't agree with or wouldn't do, keep your mouth shut. It says, verse 31, the hoary head is a crown of glory, if it be found in the way of righteousness. He that is slow to anger is better than the mighty, and he that ruleth his spirit than he that taketh a city. The lot is cast into the lap, but the whole disposing thereof is of the Lord. Now let's jump back. Proverbs 6. I think it's verse 16. Let me see. Yeah, verse 16. These 6 things does the Lord hate. Yes, 7 are abomination unto him. A proud look. You know, a lot of you guys got proud looks. You get on the highways and byways. You turn to super. You got the whole Superman thing going on. You at work throughout the regular week. You just a regular nigga. Then you go to camp. You put your garments on. Now you got that proud look, right? It says a lying tongue lies. You got to be careful, because you can make an assumption about a person and put something on a person, and it could turn to you lying. It could turn to you being a liar if it's not true, you know. In his hands that shed innocent blood, you know. A heart that deviseth wicked imaginations, saying that Yahushua is going to do this to a person, do that to a person. You having a wicked imagination against your brother. You're imagining that something's bad going to happen to him because you're mad. It says feet that be swift and running to mischief, right? Soon as this happened, first one under the comment, you running to mischief, and you know that this guy ain't sinning about doing this, but you first one under the comment because you're mad and you're angry because you're looking to be offended. That's running to mischief. It says a false witness that speaketh lies, and he that soweth discord among brothers. So if you're saying a person is this or that, and they happen not to be this or that, that's a false witness, right? He that soweth discord among brothers. If a brother is cool with brothers and congregate on the internet and talk with brothers, but you want to dig up something from the past to put on his brother to tell other brothers, watch him, mark him, don't listen, don't deal with him. That's showing discord against among brothers. See, so everybody can take the scriptures and fit it into their opinion on something. You see? So it's just teach the gospel, you know. Verse 20, my son, keepeth thy father's commandments and forsake not the law of thy mothers. That's going into the rest of that, right? And let me get this precept. Now this is very important, and this is the one that's on the screen, right? Matthew 23. And I really didn't even have this much spirit for this video, but look what it turned to, you know. Matthew 23, verse 11. It says, but he that is greatest among you should be your servant. So, you know, you got to look for that. You know, how many men is, you know, the elders that's been in it longer, but they walk around humble as like a servant, you know, to the congregation. You don't really see that. You don't ever really see that. It says, and whosoever shall exalt himself shall be abased. But you see them exalting themselves, right? And he that shall humble himself shall be exalted, you know. And that's the thing, you know. You really see this with like small 2-man camps and 3, 5, 10-man camps. Small camps, you will see a guy that maybe have the most wisdom and knowledge, but since he ain't got no big camp, he's putting in the groundwork, and all the rest of the members are really like leaning on him. So he becomes servants to them. They calling him, what's this precept? What's that precept? Me and Quana does that a lot. You know, I almost like a servant, because it's like when he calls me, what's this? What's that? How you put this together? Put that. I'm working. I'm looking it up. Okay, this how you do it. This how you do that. This how you do it. That's what Matthew 23, starting at verse 11, is talking about, you know. But when you get the big groups that come together and then they got a guy at the top, no, that shit's not gonna happen. Verse 13, but woe unto you, scribes and Pharisees, hypocrites, for ye shut up the kingdom of heaven against men, for ye neither go in yourselves, neither suffer ye them that are entering to go in. And this is in red letter, right? It says, woe unto you, scribes and Pharisees, hypocrites, for ye devour widows' houses, and for penance make long prayer. Therefore ye shall receive the great damnation. And you got to be careful, man, because, you know, you stopping other brothers pretty much trying to get in the way, you know. And then that's why it says, neither you go in yourself, you know. You got to be careful. Now, I don't think this about, I don't personally think that about any elders that I look at or know. I just look at all the bullshit that's going on, and I just look at it as, man, it's not perfect. None of us is perfect, right? But for the most part, the One West elders of the different camps and stuff like that, even though they have different opinions on different things, you know, I believe that a lot of them, not all of them, but I believe that a lot of them is men of the Lord, you know. I just look at it, when they do fuck up and do bullshit, based off my opinion on that, I just look at it as nobody's perfect, and we shouldn't be held to a standard of being perfect. And I done had guys try to hold me to that standard, you know, but we should never be held to that standard, you know. And that goes back to the name of this video. You gotta stop looking to be offended. Stop getting on the internet and trying to find something to beef about because you getting bored with the truth, or you getting bored with the truth, or you ain't got no spirit to teach. So stop getting on the internet searching, going through everybody's videos and going through your members' videos and seeing what they bitching about, and then you going on there just to jump in too, because I seen that happen where brothers came out hard just because they really ain't have shit. That kind of boosted, when events like that happen, somebody go off or whatever, that boosts brothers' spirit to go all try to jump on and rebuke them because they get bored with the truth and they just can't teach. So what they doing is they looking for a reason to be offended. Have nothing to do. Niggas be all the way out in California, never met them, never seen their videos, nothing, but they want to jump in and say something and make an assumption based off something because now he's offended, because he's looking for a reason to be offended. You see what I'm saying? So you got to watch out for that. Stop looking for a reason to be offended. If a person don't personally offend you, shut your mouth, man. You ain't got to jump in on every matter. It talks about that in the Bible, right? So with that, I'm going to say salvation to the elect. Shalom.